So yesterday I prepped all of this stuff to get glazed and did all of the wax, and today I just came in and dipped it all. Took a little bit longer than I thought it would just because the berry bowls I had to punch the glaze out of all of the holes and it was a whole thing. But there's so much stuff to get glazed and I still have to glaze all of these things, and I'm going to do that today, but I decided that I'm going to load the kiln because there's just too much stuff for one firing, and I'm going to do back-to-back firings. I'm prioritizing these planters because they are for a wholesale order to a little plant store, and I want to deliver them this week. And then I'm also choosing carefully what I'm going to put in the bottom of the kiln. This is my rutile glaze and it can be really drippy, so I like to put it in the coolest parts of the kiln, and that is the bottom and the very, very top. The kiln is all loaded. I will fire it tonight. We don't fire the kiln while we're in the studio because of the toxic fumes. So I'm just gonna close it and I'll turn it on before I leave. My other task today is glazing all of the stuff that I have over here. I have 7 more planters for my wholesale order that I'm gonna paint koi fish on. Then I just need to wax some mugs that I've already painted, and I also need to paint all of my little magnets. So I'm gonna get started on that. I just finished painting all of the koi fish, which is perfect timing because we're getting clay delivered right now. We're getting about 1,000 pounds and it's coming on a truck, so I'm going to receive it and put it away in the studio. That was a lot of work, but all the clay is unloaded and it's put away. Now it's time to wax all of the koi planters, and I'm also going to wax these mugs that I painted before the bisque. I don't know if I'm also going to dip them in glaze today because I like the wax to sit for kind of a long time, but we'll see how long I'm at the studio. I really love these long studio days, and I haven't been able to have a lot of them recently because I've been finishing up my college degree. So I started my business during my gap year, and then I moved down to Santa Cruz to go to college. And my business did really flourish here, and I opened this studio space with my friends while I was still in college. And honestly, it's been a lot having to go to class and write papers, but also run this business and make enough work to kind of financially support myself. But last week I finished my degree. I'll officially graduate and walk in June since I'm a quarter early. And this is kind of my first week of just doing pottery and not having to do school. I mean, obviously I had summer breaks and everything, but I feel like it hasn't really set in that I'm not going to be going back to school. Like, this isn't just a break, this is just going to be life. And I'm gonna have so many more of these really long pottery days, and it feels really good. I got my degree in art history. I started out as an art major, and then I just felt like the program wasn't for me, and I didn't want to transfer or move colleges because I just already felt really established in Santa Cruz. And for the art program, I had taken a few classes in art history, and I really liked them, so I decided to get my degree in it. And I'm not going to do anything with this degree right now, but I don't think that I'll want to be a full-time artist forever. So I think that it'll be nice to kind of have in my back pocket. That way I can get a different job later down the line. And also, getting a degree in art history taught me a lot about the world and a lot about other cultures. And I think that it gave me a lot of really important critical thinking skills, and honestly just made me a better person in general. So I'm really thankful that I have this degree, even though I'm not going to do anything with it right now. And I'm also really thankful that it's done. I struggled a lot during it because I have a lot of passion for pottery and a lot of passion for making art, and I struggled to have to walk away from the studio and take breaks to go to class and write papers about something that I care about but I'm not as passionate about. And that was really hard, and it took a lot for me to finish this degree, and I actually really wanted to drop out about 2 years ago, and I almost did, but I didn't, and I'm really thankful. And now I'm doing the same thing. I'm still painting pots, but I'm doing it with a degree. It feels good. All of these things are waxed and they'll be ready to glaze a little bit later. I'm gonna work on some stuff with fresh clay. I have some cups, and if they're ready to trim, then I'll work on those, but if not, I'm gonna make some little slug decoration things. But first I'm gonna go get a burrito, and my favorite burrito spot is across town, and there's traffic right now, so I've been sitting and watching TikTok on my phone trying to miss the traffic, but I'm really hungry, so I'm just gonna go. There are closer burrito spots, but I really love this place. It's Salsa's on 17th in Santa Cruz. I have an emotional attachment to it because it was right around the corner from the original studio that I started working at, and I would eat there almost every day. But also, I'm a vegetarian, and they have a really huge vegan and vegetarian menu, so there's just a lot of options, and it's my favorite spot in town. As I was walking out the door, I saw all of these magnets right here, and I realized that I meant to glaze them today, but I forgot because they were over here and not where all of my other bisqueware was. But I need to go get more yellow from our local ceramic supply store, and it closes in 30 minutes, so I'm gonna go do that and then go get my burrito and then come back and glaze the magnets. Right now I'm adding all of the color to the magnets. A lot of people say that I'm very productive, and sometimes people ask, how can you spend that long in the studio? How do you have the motivation to always be working like that? And my guilty pleasure secret is that I like to watch TV in the studio. Sometimes I go through phases where I listen to audiobooks or podcasts, or I just listen to music, but a bingeable TV show in the background at the studio is just so perfect. And right now I'm watching The Vampire Diaries. I was a little bit young when it was coming out, so I'm watching it for the first time, but I love TV shows of that era where they just go on and on and on, and every season has 25 episodes, and the episodes are like 45 minutes long. In the fall, I watched Pretty Little Liars, and it was so good. And those TV shows are pretty simple, so I don't have to be really watching them to know what's going on. Like, I can put them on in the background. But I started watching Vampire Diaries last week, and in the last 10 days, I have watched 4 seasons of it. It's just so addicting. And I am like every girl in America in the early 2000s. I want a sweet, charismatic, sensitive vampire boyfriend, and I want him to have a crazy, wild older brother who I'm secretly in love with. But I'm only on the 4th season, so no spoilers. And yes, I've watched 60 hours of it in the last 10 days, but is it really like watching TV? If I'm at the studio being productive, working, my brain is probably still rotting, but that's okay, whatever we have to do to get the work done. I'm gonna be really sad when it's over, so if you have any other bingeable early 2000s TV shows, please let me know. And back to the pottery talk, I'm gonna finish painting the magnets and then I'm gonna dip them in clear glaze. And these will go into the kiln in 2 days after I unload the kiln that I just loaded earlier today. So I have these cups here that I threw a couple days ago. They're in my recycled clay, so I want to trim the bottoms, that way the marbling really comes out. But the super annoying thing is that for some reason they dried really unevenly, so some of them are perfect to trim and some of them are sopping wet. So I'm just gonna pick out the ones that are ready to trim and put them on one side of the shelf, and the other ones I'll leave until tomorrow. Super inconvenient, but it's okay. I sucked it up and trimmed all of them, even the wet ones. So I'm gonna spray them and cover them in plastic because I think that I'm gonna sculpt eyes and mushrooms on them tomorrow. So I covered those pieces. These are waxed and ready to get glazed, but it's almost 10 p.m. and I'm pretty tired. So I'm gonna come back and glaze these in the morning, and it'll be easier because the wax will have set up. So this is for the best. I'm gonna start the kiln and I'll be able to unload that in 2 days. And that was a studio day with me. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you liked it, and I'll see you next time. Bye!